Today I have 3 really budget-friendly meals planned. I had a couple requests for some more budget cooking videos, so I want to share this with you guys. Hopefully it can be some inspiration and give you guys some ideas of some quick and easy, very budget-friendly meals that you can make. Okay, so here's everything that you will need for today's meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As long as you have a basic pantry, so salt, pepper, flour, sugar, cinnamon, stuff like that, then this is all that you will need. Half gallon of milk, chicken broth, white bread, banana, onion, frozen vegetables, pork sausage, rice, 2 things of green beans, 2 things of potatoes, and salad. If you are in need of some really budget-friendly meals, stay tuned. I think you're going to love these ones. Lucas is about to wake up, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on our breakfast so that maybe it'll be ready right when he wakes up, because he wakes up hungry. So for breakfast, I'm making one of my favorites, but I haven't had it in so long. I can't believe it. I haven't made it recently, but it is a rice porridge. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with a ½ cup of rice. This is very easily doubled, so just based on the size of your family, plan accordingly if you need to double this recipe. So anyways, I have a ½ cup of rice that I am going to rinse, and then I'll be back. Okay, next I have 3/4 cups of water. It's hard to say, 3/4 cups. 3/4 cups water. So you're gonna bring this to a boil. You're also going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, like so, and then a ½ teaspoon of butter. I'm guessing here, this is probably more than that, but I like butter, so I'm not worried about it. But if you want to go by the recipe, a ½ teaspoon. All right, so then we're gonna get this to a boil. This is such an easy recipe, made out of pantry basics. I think you guys are really going to like this. All right, so we're boiling. Mix the salt and the butter up. Grab my rinsed rice, very important to rinse. And we're just gonna pour that in there. Okay, and give it a good stir. You wanna stir it until the water starts boiling again. Okay, so once the water starts boiling, while you're stirring it, then you're going to turn it down to a simmer and cover it with a lid. So once you turned it down to a simmer, stick your lid on, and I'm going to start a timer for about 10 minutes. You just want it to simmer until the majority of the water has been absorbed into the rice. Okay, so after about 10 to 15 minutes, just keep an eye on it. I just did 10 minutes. Then what you're going to do is add in 2 cups of milk. Bring the heat back up. So we want this to start to boil, and we're just going to stir it while we wait for it to boil. Okay, we're almost there. You're just gonna wanna stir it occasionally just to make sure the rice isn't sticking to the bottom. So once it starts to boil like this, we're going to reduce the heat and simmer. Reduce the heat to low. And now we put the lid back on, and we're going to let this simmer for about 35 to 40 minutes. I know that sounds like a long time, but I promise you that it is so worth it, because this is just delicious, comforting, perfect for winter. Honestly, if you have any like kiddos who are not feeling the best, it's really comforting to the stomach. It's just really good for a lot of things, and I just really highly recommend this breakfast because it's cheap, it's easy, it's delicious. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, I love it. Okay, so it's been about 40 minutes. This is what it'll look like. It looks and smells delicious. So, now we have our delicious porridge. And it's a nice, thick, sticky consistency. It is not sweetened yet, so you will sweeten it to taste. Add some cinnamon. I like to put a little more butter in there. A little bit of butter for Lucas. A little bit of butter for me. Sprinkle with a little bit of sugar. A little bit of cinnamon. Whoops, that was a lot. Happens to me a lot. Okay, a little bit of cinnamon. Good thing Lucas likes cinnamon. And then I also cut up some banana. I like to top mine with a little bit of banana. I think the flavors complement each other very well. So put some banana in there. Give Lucas some banana. And there she is, you guys. She's nothing fancy, but she's delicious. And I really, really think you're gonna like it. All right, so it's time for lunch. So what we are going to be making is a creamed sausage and veggie, like sauce, gravy type thing on top of toast. It's really good, it's really cheap, it's really easy. So, you're gonna take your sausage, and we're only gonna be using about 1/3 of this because the rest of it will be saved for the soup that we're making for dinner. So, we're going to get this browned up. Okay, so we're gonna just brown this sausage up. While we get this browned up, we're also going to cook our veggies. It's 2 cups of veggies. Okay, so the sausage is done cooking, and I just removed it out of the pan, and we're gonna just put it over here for now. What's the matter, baby? And then what you're gonna do is melt 2 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna make a roux. So we'll get our butter melted. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour, which mine is right over here. 1 tablespoon of flour. 2 tablespoons of flour. Okay, we're gonna mix that up. It's just a basic roux. I'm sure all of you have probably made this. Okay, so you just want to stir that for a little bit. Let it cook a little. All right, now we're gonna add our milk. And then we will just keep whisking until it thickens. As that heats up, I'm also going to add the salt and pepper. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to start. I don't like things to be too salty. So I'm going to start with that, and then we can always taste and add more. And I'm also going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Maybe 1/2 of 1/2. Okay, continue to stir. Stir that up. Okay, it's starting to get nice and thick. Okay, now I'm gonna add the sausage back in. Get that mixed back up. Basically just made sausage gravy. I mean, that's what I did. So I just made sausage gravy. And it looks and smells amazing. Our vegetables have been over here cooking. And they are nice and soft and ready. So now I'm going to make some toast, and then we're gonna top it all and dive in. Okay, here is the basically sausage gravy that I made that smells and looks amazing. And I added just a splash more bit of milk just to make it a little thinner because it was a little too thick for my preference. Okay, my toast is done, so boom. Just gonna top it with our sausage gravy. And this recipe is easily doubled, just like breakfast is. So based on your family size, adjust accordingly. I'm gonna add some veggies too. Okay guys, there is my extremely budget-friendly lunch. Little man is asleep, but once he wakes up, he will eat this and probably devour it. Okay, it's dinner time. Can't believe it's dinner time already. This day is flying by. I don't know about yours. So, we are going to make a very easy, very cheap, budget-friendly, hence why it's in this video, soup. It is a sausage, potato, green bean, creamy soup. It's delicious. It's very easy too. So, you're going to take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. Sounds like my little man is waking up from his nap. Perfect timing. Okay, so 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna get that melted. Then I'm going to chop up 1 onion while that melts. Guys, this soup recipe is so easy, I can't even begin to tell you how easy it is. Okay, I'm gonna get this onion chopped up in my favorite little chopper. By the way, I know I keep mentioning this, I'm not sponsored. I mean, that could be if they wanted me to be, but I just really love this chopper. It makes my life so much easier. So easy. Okay, so our butter is melted, and we're going to saute these onions for a couple minutes. Set it to medium-high heat. Okay, now that the onions have been sauteing for a couple minutes, we are going to add the rest of our sausage from earlier today. And get that nice and browned up. Okay, now while the sausage browns, I'm going to open up my 2 cans of potatoes, and I'm going to cut them all in half. So when you use canned potatoes, they come out of the can about like this size. So I'm just going to chop them up a little bit to make them more bite-sized. Just like that. Okay, now I'm just going to add these potatoes in. Turn my heat down a little. Okay, then you're going to add in a can of green beans and the juice. Just like that. Then you'll take your chicken broth and you'll add 4 cups of chicken broth. And give that all a good stir. This is what your soup will be looking like so far. What we're gonna do is, you can either add some seasonings that you would like, whatever you have. I'm gonna add some garlic powder and some red chili flakes to this. And then we're gonna pop the lid on it and just let it simmer for a little bit. And then I'll be back to tell you what to do next. Okay, so I added 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and it tastes so good. So we're just gonna get this to a simmer, and then we're going to add about a cup of milk. Might add a little bit more, we will see. But guys, then that's literally it. Then you just get it simmering a little bit, nice and heated up, and that is your soup. I will show it to you when it's done. So it's starting to simmer, and all of the seasonings and everything have gotten to get acquainted. That's what my dad always says, like, things need to get acquainted with, like, soups and chilies. Okay, now I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups of milk, and it's going to turn this into just a creamy, delicious, amazing soup. Give that a good stir. And you can totally add more milk if you would like. How delicious does that look? It looks so good. So cheap, so easy, delicious, filling, comfy. So today, for this dinner, I'm going to be serving it with, I'm gonna serve it with the salad that we got. So soup and salad. If you have any rolls that you have in the house, you can serve it with that. There's definitely plenty of bread left over. So soup, salad, and some bread and butter. Yes, please. Sounds amazing if you ask me. So there's leftover bread, there's leftover rice. There's another can of green beans because I thought I needed 2. You could definitely add 2, but 1 is probably enough. So there's definitely leftovers here. It was $15 for one day, but you have ingredients now to build upon for the next day. Depending on the size of your family, this is a lot of soup, so there will definitely be leftovers of the soup too. This dinner was so delicious, you guys, and my husband really liked the soup, and he's not a soup fan. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. We would love to have you here. Oh yeah? Alright you guys, that is it, and we will see you in the next video. Can you say bye-bye? Bye.